This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
When Christmas brings not joy, but sorrow. Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster, and this week's guest is Pastor Jon Horton, who oversees Bayview Chapel on the campus of Revive Wesleyan Church in Hamburg, New York. He's one of a growing number of pastors who will be offering what have come to be known as Blue Christmas services, intended to comfort those whose Christmas season coincides with a personal season of grief. He sat down with us inside Bayview Chapel to talk more about it. Blue Christmas service. They seem to be rising in popularity. I see more and more churches doing it every year. What's the motivation behind it?
Well, I think a lot of us who work in ministry are spending time with people who are maybe in the middle of a physical struggle. Maybe they're being treated for cancer. Maybe they lost a loved one this year. And so for some of us, Christmas is a joyous season, but for others, it's really hard. And so I think Blue Christmas service is an accommodation for that.
This is kind of counterintuitive on its face. I mean, Christmas time, joy, lights, everybody's happy, but not everybody's happy. It can be really torturous.
Yeah, it can. I was speaking to one of our parishioners. I said, "Are you going to enjoy the holidays?" And he said, "No, it'll be really hard." And then I remembered doing his father-in-law's funeral, and I thought, oh, I had forgotten, but they hadn't forgotten. And so it was going to be a hard Christmas for them.
There's always been situations in life that have hit people and made Christmas difficult, but I guess only now really the recognition is coming where churches and other counselors are recognizing just how difficult that situation can be for people.
I hope it's a move for all of us to move toward encouraging our people to be authentic. Like sometimes somebody will say, how you doing on a Sunday morning? And sometimes the answer is not very well. Is the truth. That's
true. It's a perfunctory question. We always just say, yeah, how's it going? But no one really wants the answer. Right. Because you don't know what sort of hornet's nest you might be stepping into there. There's no shortage of scripture that addresses grief and lament, right? It's a huge theme.
Yeah. So this year, for our Blue Christmas here at Revive Wesleyan, I'm going to use part of the Christmas story, the story of Elizabeth and Zechariah, who were going through a difficult time. They were unable to dealing with fertility issues and disappointed because God had not answered their prayers. And so just that little part that God, even when we don't feel like it, God does hear our prayers. And then Zechariah had allowed his disappointment to turn into bitterness. And we can all do the same thing. And so I'm going to encourage them to not let their disappointment turn to bitterness. So if you're looking for it, there's a lot of passages.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Take us through briefly. How do you structure that to accommodate people and to really address their grief?
Yeah, so we design it as purposefully a very simple service. We greet people and explain to them what our purpose is for the night and pray. We have a couple of songs that are purposefully chosen to be more thoughtful, and we use guitars and kind of an acoustic feel to the music. I'll do a brief meditation, 8 to 10 minutes at the most. And I think the most important part of the service is while people are waiting, they write down some of the burdens that they're carrying, some of the things they're struggling with as they're waiting for the service to begin. And then at the end of the service, they bring them up and put them around the Christmas tree. And then Pastor Trevor from our South Creek Church will pray a prayer of healing over them. And then we stick around afterwards. And if people want individual prayer, we do that as well.
What sort of experiences might you be able to relate from prior Blue Christmas services? It's got to be pretty emotionally charged.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes 3 or 4 people will come in. They're part of a support group of ladies who all lost their husbands, and they come to encourage each other. We've had families come in that have lost babies, and so sometimes the grief is real fresh and tender. And again, we offer to pray with them, and God wants to take all of us on a healing journey. So that prayer time at the end, that's really the high point.
Mm-hmm. Walking in the shadow of loss, whether it's recent, it doesn't even have to be recent either. It can be a long time ago if memories are associated with...
Or depression.
Yeah, or depression.
How many people struggle with that, especially this time of year in Western New York when you have about 3 hours of daylight?
Yeah, it does get a little more depressing around this time of year, doesn't it? So kind of sum up then, somebody's thinking of maybe coming or struggling with grief, and what would you say to them?
I would say that one of the worst things for any of us, whether we're struggling with grief, depression, or some other problem, is to be by ourselves. So even to come into a room where it's a safe place, where you're not going to have to pretend to be joyful, and maybe hear a healing word and have somebody pray over you, is maybe part of the healing journey that God has for you.
That's Pastor Jon Horton, who oversees Bayview Chapel on the campus of Revive Wesleyan Church in Hamburg, New York. He's one of a growing number of pastors who this Christmas season will be offering what have come to be known as Blue Christmas services, intended to comfort those whose Christmas season coincides with a personal season of grief. The Bayview Chapel Blue Christmas service will be on December 17th at 7 p.m. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.